say in this opening statement. No, we just, you get a chance to go back and watch and reflect the day after a game, and things you think you see during the game, you go back and you see it's a little different than you thought, or vice versa. So I thought our guys played with great effort last night. I thought I needed to be better for them at times as well. But there's things that we can work on to continue to get better, and we will. And we will get better in those areas. But didn't play our best. Like, hats off to Michigan. I thought they were, they're a good team. Like, it's crazy that people don't think they're a good team, but they're a good team. So hats off to them. But I didn't think we played our best, and we still had opportunities, right? Like, had a three-pointer to tie it with 1:39 left on the road when you're not playing your best basketball. It's something to be said there. So we'll get back to the drawing board, try and get better here in the next 3 days. We got a unbelievable task up against us again. For us, like, I don't know what I did to somebody in the Big Ten office, but whatever I did, I apologize, because like the first 7 games that they gave us were unforgiving, and they just keep, like the whole league is, but like this stretch has been pretty tough. But like, we're up for it, we're ready for it, we're game for it, and when Sunday rolls around, we'll be ready to play. Good.
There. So how instructive can last night be dealing with Hunter when you go to deal with Zach too on Sunday, and especially when it comes to the way you used Evan offensively?
Yeah, each game's different. How they guard you is different. So, like, I don't know. You try different stuff. You bring out different stuff based on matchups, based on how people try and guard you. I think Miles getting fouls early in the first half, it kind of limited what we were able to do with our rotations and what we wanted to do there. But I think Evan, like, I have these conversations with him, and like, even like talking to his dad after the game yesterday, like, you practice in one situation, and then you come in a game and you play in a different situation. And I think, it's taken him a little bit of time to get comfortable with what we need him to do, because like sometimes what he's doing, he doesn't even practice it, because you can't practice everything. And he's been good at just going with the flow. And now you can see like the aggressiveness starting to come out, and now we can start to utilize him in different ways. So it just gives us another weapon to try and use, and his skill level offensively, and then just his energy defensively, I think has been good for us.
I apologize, it wasn't completely clear on the broadcast last night. What happened with Coach Fairley and that interaction?
Yeah, that was I don't know who. So they have all these like competition committees. I think Coach Holtman is on the competition committee for the Big Ten. He plays tonight, so I couldn't call him. So I'll wait, just so I can let him know at their next meeting that's one of the dumbest rules that we have in basketball, right? We got a bench warning because Coach Fairley is standing up trying to help our guys on the opposite end of the floor communicate what was happening on defense. So, so be it. If it happens, like, it happens. But that's just dumb. Like, I don't know why that rule's in place, and maybe it's a safety issue if it's right in front of you. Like, I'm not sure what or why it's a major point of emphasis this year, and it's never been called neither as well. So, I encourage him to do it. He does an unbelievable job for us. Like, he is really locked in. He's really detailed. He is a great coach. He knows exactly what the other team is doing, and he's doing his job, man. I was an assistant coach too, and I used to stand up and do the same exact things. it's tough. It's tough. Like, just for that, right? Like, I don't know. I don't agree with a lot of things that go on in college basketball. I think that's what caught myself. I think that's stupid.
So, to go back to the matchup on Sunday, you're making this transition tough. So when you have a guard like Jalen Pickett, right, and you get a switch with a big that maybe it isn't as ideal as it usually would be, right, because he's trying to back guys down, how much more important do like guys like Cam Winter and Kanye Clary become, who maybe can beat Zach Edey off the bounce a little quicker and get by him, and you know what I mean? Those ball screens are a little more important for them maybe than they are for Pickett when trying to seek out a switch.
Yeah, it's almost like you're in a constant chess match, right? And that's, for me, like this is fun, right? Like as a coach, because in the Big Ten there's so many good coaches, like Juwan Howard. Like, I got a lot of respect for, just like, you know, us going through battles when I was in Boston and he was in Miami coaching, and you know, just chess matches, watching Brad and Spoelstra go at it, and now like we're kind of taking some of those same things and doing the same thing, and like trying to keep each other off balance with what we're doing throughout the game. It is like how we attack it and what we do. You know, you got to mix it up, you got to vary it. Like, you know, Pickett's comfortable posting. Like, doesn't matter who it is. I think if you go back, he probably posted Zach at one point in time in the Big Ten tournament. So he does do a lot of stuff. He is comfortable doing it. But getting those guys as well, attacking the switch, and then, you know, trying to score, they're making plays for other people. I think that's, you know, where we constantly got to grow, right? We're seeing a lot of that defensively right now. So until we start to attack it better, we'll probably see it more.
Sure. I know you have a little coaching fraternity. What's the window of being able to talk to Matt, and when does that get cut off? Like, have you spoken to him this week? Will you speak to him this week before the game?
No, it's been shoot. Who did we play before Iowa? That was Dell State. It's probably our last time probably texting each other was right before the New Year's maybe. I haven't spoken with him. Yeah, we've both been playing, so it gets hard too. And then we play twice, so it'll be interesting. But we usually do like communicate a lot. Like you know, I enjoy just talking to him, right? Like getting a laugh out of it. So like I'll make sure I get out of the locker room pretty early. You know, when our guys come back to warm up, so I can spend some time chatting with him on the sideline before, but also seeing the other guys, Elliott and Brandon Brantley, Terry Johnson. Like, we all go back a long ways, so we haven't communicated as much in the last couple of weeks over the phone, but it'll be good to see those guys and say hi.
All right, we'll take questions on Zoom. We'll start with Mike Jensen, Philadelphia Inquirer.
One question is, what did Cam Winter and Funk bring that's different from each other, and how important was it to get some guard production out of the portal this time?
Yeah, it was really important. They're both so different in their games, but they both fit seamlessly as people. I think that's where they're kind of both similar in that stature. Is they both came in, like, neither one asked about shots, minutes, anything else. They just cared about winning, and that was the most important thing for me. But utilizing their strengths, I think Cam gives us another guard that can attack off the dribble, that can play in pick and rolls, that can be a decision maker, that can give pick a break at times. And now Funk is just a weapon all over the court, whether he's coming off screens, whether he's running in transition, using his shooting, but also his passing. And that's, you know, I got to get him the ball more so he can become more of a passer. And, you know, when he draws help and things like that. So I think getting those guys, you know, having a veteran group back with Pickett, with Miles, with Seth. Now you add two older guards that are, both have high basketball IQs, that are both unselfish, that can both do different things. They can both shoot it, pass it. It just adds to our versatility. It gives us, more weapons to spread throughout, out on the court, but throughout the game of different guys that we can go to.
And one more from me. These Palestra events have worked in the past as events. Can you state the obvious? Why do they make sense for you?
You know what? It was such an unbelievable event, right? Like, hats off to Coach Chambers. I think it was his idea to start this. I believe. I wasn't here, but I believe so. Of him getting a chance to bring his team back to Philly. He was recruiting Philly at a high level, and was getting a bunch of guys there, and it gives them a chance to come home. You think about different programs, like a North Carolina historically in the past has recruited guys from different areas and then gone on the road and played in their hometowns. I just think back to when I was a kid and Eric Montross came back and played Butler in North Carolina, and they would do that. It's great for us because we have, 4 guys from the area, not even counting Cam. But it's also an area that we want to continue to recruit. But we also want to bring ourselves to our fans. Our fans in Philadelphia don't always get a chance to get here and see the basketball team. And so this gives us a chance to go there. And it gives our guys that aren't from there a feel of what Philadelphia basketball is about. And playing in the Palestra is such a historic venue on top of the #1 team in the country is rolling in here. If I had my choice, I don't know if I would choose them, but I did have a choice. Golly, I'm sorry. I did choose them, and they are #1 in the country. But I'm excited. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a fun game, and I'm just looking forward to my first experience coaching at the Palestra.
Thanks.
Mark Brennan.
Micah, to follow up on Mike's question, you've obviously had a lot of an opportunity to work in an historic arena in Indianapolis. What does it mean to you personally to add this to your bucket list, for a lack of a better way of putting it? Because I know a lot of coaches really kind of cherish the opportunity. Izzo said that. A lot of people have said that about playing in that arena. Thanks.
No, it is going to be pretty cool. Just getting a chance, and I've only been in there a couple of times, just through shoot-arounds when we were with the Celtics one time, and then the other time Isaiah Thomas liked to shoot on the road, so we got the Palestra, and he went and shot in there at night. And it's got the feel like, it kind of looks like Hinkle a little bit. It gives you that same kind of feel. So that is just pretty cool. The places I've been, basketball's been really, really good to me, and I've had an opportunity to coach in a lot of really cool events and places, and this is going to go right up there. And I've watched it, right? I watched both of those games that they played. I watched Michigan State. I watched Iowa. I saw the fans, what it looked like, how hard, the teams were playing. It is a really, really cool event, and I'm looking forward to it.
Andrew Clay.
Hey, Coach. You kind of already mentioned this a little bit about your schedule, but what a brutal January you guys have going into that first game in February. Have you guys talked about this in the locker room, and how do you approach a schedule that really is, I hate to say Nebraska is the only one you like in there, but it is a schedule where you only have 1 or 2 games that you probably do like?
I don't really like Nebraska either. Last time they rolled into the Bryce Jordan Center, it did not end well for the Nittany Lions. We don't get, I can't get ahead of myself. I watched it. I obviously know, what it looks like, just because, at the start of the year, you get your schedule, you're seeing stretches of games and everything else, but we don't talk about it as a team. Like, it's just the next game. We only play one at a time, and that's what all of our focus is on. Our focus was on beating Michigan, and we didn't get the job done, but we'll go back to the drawing board, try and get better, and then now all of our focus is on beating Purdue. And, when that game's over, we'll move to the next one. I think if you start trying to look at different things and let's see if we can win this here and not win this here, and like basketball's such a crazy game. This is such a crazy league. If you start looking ahead, if you start planning other things, like, it ain't gonna happen. So just focus on what's next, what's right in front of you, and that's how we have to approach it. It's we've had a tough stretch, like in this league. We've played 4 games already, 4 tough opponents, and they're just gonna keep getting tougher and tougher. Right as the season gets going, people are getting better, and every game is gonna be a monster. So this one, we just have to play against a literal monster.
And Jones?
Hey, Micah. You mentioned Pat in Philadelphia. That was an area that he was able to have a lot of success in recruiting-wise. You guys have obviously had success in and out of the state. I know you can't talk about specifics, but Pennsylvania's got a couple different guys coming down the pipeline that sort of rise to the level of have to pay attention to. What has your reception been sort of with in-state recruiting so far, and what are the challenges that maybe, your traditional footprint wasn't always Pennsylvania. Now you kind of have to recruit Pennsylvania. How has that been for you, kind of developing those relationships?
Yeah, for us, it's been good. I think, as you start to piece together a staff, like when you first get here, you got guys that have really strong ties in Philadelphia with Mike Fairley, with Adam Fisher, guys that have really hit that part of Pennsylvania really hard. But also, like, I think people want to help us, right? As long as we are doing good things, right? If you get guys from a certain program, if you get guys from certain areas, and you just, like, you treat them the right way, you try and make them better, you try and show that, like, your program is on the rise, you're doing the right things. I think people, like, they start to see it. I think they're starting to see it with this group and how we're playing and what we're doing, and you're more inclined to want to send your kids somewhere, right? Like somewhere where they're going to be taken care of. So it's obviously, like, that's one thing I know football, like, really stresses, like, getting the best from Pennsylvania. Like, that's what we need to do as well. Like, this can be our footprint, and it may not always be. The classes may not always match up with what we need, but it's really good right now. It's really good right now, and it's not just in it's not just in Philly. It's Pittsburgh, it's Harrisburg, it's all over this state. And if there's a good player in this state, we're going to investigate it. We're going to try and get them. We're going to do everything we can if they're the right fit for us, if they're the right fit for Penn State.
Joe Smeltzer?
Hey, Mike. Zach Edey is one of, if not the best players in college basketball this season. What are just some of your thoughts on him? And then, obviously, it's not often you have the game plan for a guy that's 7'4".
He is, like, I got a chance to be around him and coach him, for a couple of years. Like, big guys are different, right? Like, each big guy is different, and what you get from them is different. Like, some of them might just be playing basketball because they're big, right? And they were young. They said, "Here, go play basketball because you're bigger than everybody else." And Zach didn't really do that until he was at a different age for him to start playing. The one thing that makes him a little bit different than a lot of other bigs I've been around is he's big, but he's nasty, right? Like he doesn't mind contact. He actually likes contact. Where you find some big guys that, like, shy away from it a little bit. But he's a dude that constantly works, and that he's a great example for a lot of people. He was never proclaimed to be a good player. He made himself a good player. He's a guy that he probably still does it, right? I haven't been there in 2 years, but I bet he still does it. He would come up, he'd practice, he'd stay after and work on his game. He'd stay after practice, work on jump hooks, touch, free throws, all that stuff after practice every day. Shower, go eat, and he'd come right up to assistant coach Brandon Brantley's office and watch film of himself, right, in practice that day, in practice the day before, games, whatever it may be, and that's pretty rare. It's pretty rare, not for like a big guy. It's rare for like guards. It's rare for anybody in college basketball. Like, this dude loves the game. He loves to get better, and that's, you know, the biggest compliment to him. Like, I'm a big fan of him. He knows it. When I went back for the football game, I spent some time with him, just talking to him because I hadn't seen him in a little bit. But like, we're gonna go after him. Like, I'm gonna yell at him from the sideline. We're gonna foul him. We're gonna get physical. We're gonna play, and then after the game, we'll be cool again. I just have that much respect for him.
Okay, we'll do final question for Coach to Owen McHugh, and then we'll bring in our student athletes.
Andrew Funk's a local guy that I got to cover in high school. When he's coming to your program this offseason, are there any concerns about him making the jump to this level, or what did you see from his time at Bucknell that let you know he was going to be able to translate right away?
You know, the funny thing is, if you look, I think Bucknell's gotten better since he's left. I'm just saying that because he's sitting in the back of the room right now. No, I thought, like, you know, I've coached guys like him, right? I tried to, I think when we were recruiting him, tried to show him that, of how we could utilize him in different ways. You know, if he was from Philly, if he was from Wyoming, right, I still would have recruited him because I thought he fit. I thought he fit how we played. I thought his personality fit with us. I thought he was a good fit for Penn State academically, and on the basketball court, right? So he's got the ability to change the game by just being on the court, right? People are worried about him, right? Like when Purdue finishes playing tonight and they get to their prep against us, like, you know, you look at the scouting report and it's like, okay, like, here's Andrew Funk. Like, we have to design something or do something to take him away, right? That was Michigan. One of their game plans was, we're going to put Doug McDaniel on him. We're not going to leave him. We're not going to help for any reason. So now, like, people are game planning for that. People are doing that. So, like, he can just step on the court and have an effect, right? Because you're just taking a guy out of their defensive plan because he has to focus on him totally. So, but then when he does get the ball in his hands, he's such a threat in transition. He's such a threat coming off screens. He's, you know, a threat passing the ball. You know, he's been good for us. He's been really helpful for us. And like I said, whether he's from Philadelphia or Wyoming, we'd have recruited him. It just happens that he is from Philadelphia and comes from a great high school program that we would love to, you know, recruit and get guys from there if they would happen to have more.